As you can see, this framing job didn't turn out too bad. I'm not quite done with it yet, but when I do my next one, I'd like to show you how I do all of this. As you can see, I used house trim that I found in dumpsters for the back. It was cheap, it was free, so if you know anyone who's got all kinds of material like this to throw out, to get rid of, let me know, because I'd be interested. We're going to put the trim on, and then I'll show you how I do this when I get to my next one later in the week, because this does take a while. I'd say 45 minutes to an hour at least. So keep watching. Thanks. Well, it's been a couple hours and it's finally done, because I had to redo all this stuff to make it nice and even like this. That's what they always say. Measure twice, cut once. Me, measure once, cut more than once. Measure once, cut a dozen times. That's what it seems like for me. Well, for this one, I just have to put the little hooks on the back and hang it up. So, this is pretty much what I've been up to as of late when I'm not playing the keyboard. Framing up all of the models and performers that did my DVD photo shoots over the last, decade. So thank you all for doing these great shoots for me, and God bless and enjoy the rest of your lives. Thanks again so much. Okay, step one. I get the layout so I can kind of get the bird's eye view how this is going to turn out by putting the trim around. If it's not level or straight or anything, too long, too short, then I make it perfect before I do the rest. And as you can see, the Ariella banner that I had Rez Printing print for me turned out pretty damn awesome, as you can see there. That's pretty cool. So now, step two, lay out the plexiglass and cut it down to size. And the last step is screwing every board in, and that takes the longest. Now, step two, cut the plexiglass. Luckily, it's the thinnest stuff, because if it were the thickest or the next thickest, it would break when you put it on. So, luckily, this plexiglass is the thinnest, and it's really easy to cut. All you need is like a box cutter or a pair of tin snips, and just cut. Luckily for me, this is only one cut. Unlike the other one the other day, I had to cut a whole bunch of it off. I leave the tape on until I'm ready to put it over. Otherwise, I'll have to clean up all the dust, all the dirt, everything else that gets on there. Gets on it, which is a pain in the butt. Okay, that's step two. Cut your plexiglass off. And another part of step two is take the plastic wrap off, like so. Yep, this is gonna work perfectly. I didn't get the bottom to cut straight, but oh well. Put the trim over that, it will cover it up. See? Part one of your wrapping paper. Here comes part two of your wrapping paper. Sometimes it's real easy to peel off, and sometimes it's not. Now I'm getting sawdust on here. That's why I leave the wrap on until the very end. Because otherwise, with it being clear, everything shows. There. Now you throw this in the recycling plastics and get that out of there. And then the final step is get your trim put on. Once you get your plexiglass lined up again. So now we enter in step 3, and there's only 4 steps. Step 4 is putting the things on the back. So we'll show you how to do step 3 once I get set up. Pre-drill and drill. Now the long step. This one gets kind of boring, and this is the most time consuming. Even with 2 drills, one to pre-drill and one to screw in, all the way around until it's nice and tight. I'm not going to show all of it because it'll be long and boring, but we'll show you how I do it anyway. Just the start of it anyway. You take your pre-drill and just make a hole. And then you take a corkscrew or a Phillips or whatever you want to use that's real short. It doesn't go through the back and get stuck to the floor like I've had. If it's too long, it will stick to your floor. And then you just take your drill and voila! That's how you do it all. That's all there's to that part. Now, I gotta do all the rest of them. So we'll see you when that gets finished. Well, I finally got it pretty much done. As you can see, I had to redo the right side. This only took me about an hour and a half, 2 hours from the time I started. The biggest problem is trying to wipe off all the sawdust and everything inside the plexiglass that I get from drilling out those, holes. Other than that, it doesn't look too bad for now. This is what I love to do on Earth. Enjoy it now. You may or may not see it ever again. I'm hoping we will see this kind of stuff again in the next life, but you never know. Thanks for watching. We'll see you when I put the back on in the next segment here. Now for the very final thing, putting the hooks on, pretty much like you do with the trim through the plexiglass. You pre-drill through the hole here and screw it in. That's all there's to it. And plus this way, probably saved myself, I know I saved myself at least a couple $100. The supplies were free. All the stuff I put on the outside was free. Sometimes the stuff I put on the backing, that I find in construction dumpsters too, is all free. Just seeing what I can make use out of. That's the whole fun of it. Trying to line this all up evenly as best as I can. That wouldn't have been good if it fell on me. Now, take your hook and I like using my own bigger screws because the screws that came with these hooks are too small. And they don't work worth a crap. So that's why I'm glad I bought these little bigger ones. a few years ago from Amazon. This thing's a pain. One down, one to go. Jeez. Obviously, you get to lean up against this chest very well. I reckon it's too heavy. And the other big question is, where in the heck am I going to put it at? I'll have to lean it up against the wall for now because I have no wall space due to my Yankees baseball cards and my other pictures and posters and everything else. That's why I need to live in a mansion. Wouldn't that be nice to live in a mansion for all eternity? I could go for that. Well, that ain't gonna work. I gotta have the flap out. On the other side. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to use it. There. As you can see, now it's ready to be hung up on the wall someday. Only took me about 5 minutes. Here's one. Here's two. See? Thanks for watching again, and you all have a nice Memorial Day weekend, and remember the ones who fought and died for this country and our loved ones who we used to, enjoy being with before they passed in life. So be sure to give out your condolences and your support and for all the hard work that these fallen soldiers and everyone did for us. Thank you.